Are you serious, guys? Are you serious? We have information coming in now. This is within the last 2 minutes. There is a definite schism. 2 minutes. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's a definite schism in the Israeli cabinet. Definite schism. And apparently the war is coming to a critical moment. And I'm going to tell you all about that in just a second. First, Get Energy One. GetEnergy1.com/Paul. GetEnergy1.com/Paul. You know, you got to watch what kind of protein you're putting in your body. I'm talking about these protein shakes, okay? There is a protein drink. I mean, some of them like almond butter, which has a peel on it that is called lectin, and it's in the food. And also they do this with peas, okay? And the problem is that lectin is not good, okay? It's just not good for you. You should stay away from these type of protein drinks or items, so read the label. You'll probably notice that a lot of the alternatives to milk are plant-based, okay? But you got to be aware of that. Not just because it's plant-based, but it doesn't make it's the problem is some of these plants you don't want in your body. And oats, honestly, oats are only used to feed horses and to fatten them up. They're not really made for human consumption, although I love oatmeal. But to be honest with you, it's not very beneficial at all. So, guys, here's the problem with almond milk. Most are made from ground up almonds. And the skin of almonds have that nasty lectin in it, which will actually hurt your health and cause holes in your gut. So this is real important. Cashews, the same kind of thing. That's from a poison ivy family. And some people are, of course, allergic to poison ivy. So you may not realize it when you're eating those cashews. You think you're doing it for protein, but you could be also poisoning yourself. And I'm not even talking about all the chemicals and all the other stuff they put in the processed food. You know it's not good. But if you're looking for some protein-rich milk to drink, to add to your coffee in the morning, you need to know what kind to get, okay? And your body needs to feel healthier and look leaner. And listen, here's what I want to tell you. Just go to getenergy1.com/Paul. Click on that link in the description. Dr. Stephen Gundry will walk you through it. He'll help you understand the proper drinks to get the energy up and keep the harmful, ingredients, keep them out of your body. So I'm just going to tell you right now, go to getenergy1.com/Paul. That's getenergy1.com/Paul and start slimming down and having the right protein in your body. Okay? They'll help you do it. So let's talk about this. This happened about 2 minutes ago, actually, that this information just came out. Number one, you have Lapid, who's, former prime minister of Israel. He was only prime minister about 6 months, but this former prime minister is saying that he believes that Netanyahu was just lackluster and was not on the ball and was not watching the different chatter and all the intel coming in that there is a possible attack by Hamas over the fences on October 7th. So he's not saying he was complicit in it happening, but he's saying he just wasn't watching close. He wasn't listening to the intel. He didn't take it seriously enough, and this thing happened. While Lapid is saying that, and that's big, folks, we just now, Defense Minister Gallant is reportedly right now telling the other ministers in the cabinet that they must push for a peace deal or face imminent danger of a multi-front war. There it is. There's the headline. Must push for either a peace deal or a ceasefire deal immediately, or face imminent danger of a multi-front war. Guys, this just came over the wire. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant is presenting this to the Security Cabinet this evening with a document he drew up in recent days urging a hostage ceasefire deal now and detailing the potentially dire consequences for Israel of a failure to finalize such a deal. Now, that's being reported as we speak, right as I'm talking to you on Channel 12 there in Israel. The report, citing an unnamed political source, says that Gallant has shown this document to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and very few other senior officials, and that he says it represents the view of the defense establishment. If Israel accepts and is able to finalize a ceasefire hostage deal, this would not only achieve the return of the hostages, he says, but Gallant's document reportedly states, but also enables a diplomatic arrangement to calm the hostilities with Hezbollah across the northern border and to help prevent a regional war with Iran and others. It could also impact Iran's declared intention to avenge the killing of Ismail Haniyeh that took place in Tehran, Iran last month. It's not going for a deal, he said. By contrast, Gallant document reportedly warns that Israel would be leaving the hostages in captivity and would face the danger of an imminent deterioration into a multi-front war. Now, the question you got here is, that means there's schism in the body. Let's put it that way. There's schism in the cabinet, and they're getting weary. And that's partly what the Hamas and really what the Iranians have been trying to accomplish, is to not let Hamas completely be eliminated so that they can regroup them, to prevent Israel from having an all-out war with Hezbollah, because really Iran don't want that right now. And Iran knows they really can't win a war with Israel at all, with America sitting there with all this firepower in the region. So, according to this report, Channel 12 is saying that Hamas leader Sinwar is intent on fomenting a multi-front war against Israel. It might therefore be expected to reject a deal for the very reasons that Gallant is pressing Netanyahu and Israel to accept a deal. In other words, there's some saying that Sinwar wants this thing to go wide open. He wants this war to go apocalyptic, which, oh, by the way, if you are a radical Shiite, you believe it takes an apocalyptic war with Israel in Jerusalem to bring the 12th Imam to the world, the Muslim Messiah, the Mahdi. That it must be because of an apocalyptic war in Jerusalem. So the reports add that a working level Israeli delegation is remaining in Qatar and is making progress on some various issues in the potential deal. But the talks are not focusing on Netanyahu's demands, which is rejecting his demands is Hamas must either surrender or be eliminated, period. For an ongoing Israeli presence at the Philadelphia corridor on the Gaza-Egypt border. In other words, Israel's saying Hamas has to surrender or let us destroy them, and Israel's going to take over the security presence of Gaza. They're taking it back, and they're going to let the Israelis manage it like Israel really manages the West Bank now. Israel used to manage the Gaza Strip. So to prevent Hamas from rearming itself across the border, Israel wants to control the border of Gaza with Egypt. Matter of fact, they've been destroying the tunnels from Egypt into Gaza. They've destroyed a ton of them. I mean, Melvin Whittington last night on Getting Ready explained that. It's unbelievable, the progress that Netanyahu and the IDF has made. So to stop now would be like at the 5-yard line. You're about ready to score the touchdown. You went all the way down the field. You're at the 5. And you're going to punt or you're going to hand the ball over. I mean, what? Okay. So Israel's security chiefs are widely reported to have assured Netanyahu that Israel can afford to withdraw troops from both of these corridors in the content of a deal, while Netanyahu is reportedly adamantly rejecting that assessment. The TV is also reporting in Israel that the Americans are pushing the sides to wrap up everything except for those two intractable issues. Then they will go to Israel and Hamas, present them with a deal as it stands, and push them to resolve the Philadelphia issue. If the sides fail to do so, the report is the Americans, here we go, will present their own compromise on the two disputed issues and demand the sides accept it. If one or the other does not, the Americans will publicly assign the blame to either Israel or Hamas. The report does not address the disputes over Netanyahu's insistence on the right to resume the fight against Hamas once any deal is implemented, and Hamas' insistence that the deal mark a permanent ceasefire, in other words, an end to the war, leaving Hamas in power, and a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. So it's that we're down to this, guys. Netanyahu says Hamas has to go, period. And Hamas is saying, we will not go away. And we don't care if this thing blows the whole Middle East wide open, then so be it. That's where we're at right now. Okay? That's exactly where we're at right now. Now, I have more information. It also has just come in. This just now breaking news. So Gallant is pushing, okay? Defense Minister Gallant is saying, we got to just end this. And he's in charge of defense. And meanwhile, the former Prime Minister of Israel, Lapid, is blaming Netanyahu for this whole October 7th thing ever happening. And guys, you know that the United Nations is pushing like crazy, using pressure of the whole world and the college students in America and the media in America to push, to paint Netanyahu as some type of dictator that he's not, or some kind of madman, or some kind of warmonger that he's not. The whole world is putting the pressure on Netanyahu. So Gallant is saying, we got to do a deal now. Forget it. We're going to have to let Hamas stay in power, but we got to end this. Or if we don't do it, it's not only are we going to have to keep fighting Hamas, but we're going to have to fight Hezbollah. We're going to have to fight the Palestinian uprising, the terrorist cells, and that group over in the West Bank, which is Judea and Samaria. And we're going to have to fight with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. And we're going to have to fight with the Syrians. And we're going to have to fight with the Houthis. And we're going to have to fight with the Iranians. So that's Gallant's position. Lapid is just saying, look, guys, this should have never happened on October 7th, which everybody says that. And he's putting the whole blame on Netanyahu, saying he knew that there were plots out there, but he did not act on them appropriately. So this is a ton of pressure now because we're at a breaking point. And if you read Ezekiel 38 on the Battle of Gog and Magog, you know right now that If Gog comes over, if Gog makes its invasion on Israel, I mean, if Iran, Hezbollah, the Syrians, and whoever else wants to jump in, the Turks, the Russians, if everybody that's listed, Sudan even, Ethiopia, Libya, whoever, all of the group, even Jordan, if a bunch of those folks decide they're going to go at Egypt, if they just decide they're all going to go for it, especially Iran, Turkey, and Russia, Libya and Ethiopia, and the rest of whoever else wants to jump in, you got the Houthis in Yemen, Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, then we're on with Ezekiel 38. And they're basically saying, Netanyahu, if you don't want Ezekiel 38, you better cut a deal now while you still can. And Netanyahu's position is, I'm not cutting no deals with anybody until Hamas is either destroyed or surrenders, period. Now, meanwhile, guys, I got news for you. The United States has positioned 18 warships, including 2 aircraft carriers, in the and around the Middle East as it seeks to deter Iran and its proxies from conducting that exact event, an attack, an all-out attack on Israel. And right now, we're in a 48-hour window right now at the most critical time there is. And so Mike from the World Beyond tonight, this is a frantic year for the U.S. Navy. Some of the vessels operating in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden have been combating the Iranian-aligned Houthis. Matter of fact, this morning, the Houthis hit an oil tanker in the Mediterranean. Explosion. It was huge explosion. And now this boat may sink, and it's full of oil. And the concern is the oil already leaking into the Mediterranean? I seen the video of it. I seen the explosion. The Houthis did it. And while more Navy and Air Force assets are being brought in right now to continue the buildup and show of force, in addition, 2 carrier strike groups are now operating in the Middle East. Guys, you need to understand that Air Force F-22 Raptor Squadron is already arrived in the region. Also, the USS Georgia, which has and a guided missile submarine is lurking nearby. Now, normally the Navy does, or the Air Force, they don't reveal they don't disclose normally the location or destinations of their nuclear submarines like the USS Georgia. But they are now. They are saying the USS Georgia is there. It's a nuclear submarine, and it is full of Tomahawk, nuclear missiles and other types of missiles. Also, there's 500 Tomahawk missiles ready to attack Iran right now, and more than 100 aircraft ready to defend the allies, according to reports from the Defense Department. So they're letting people know that they're there. Now, all this firepower concentrated in the Middle East is a frustration. It's a long-standing Defense Department priority to not have this much firepower in one spot and leave ourselves so very thin now in the Pacific Ocean, where the dangers of China and North Korea are lurking. So we've went past our normal priorities. We've moved more ships and aircraft and submarines into the Middle East area, a concentration of more than we'd ever have put together in any war we've ever been involved. And we're not even at war. Or are we? This buildup is impacting the Navy's ability to maintain a robust presence or a response capability in the Pacific, because many of these ships will end up in maintenance early next year. So the Pentagon is being questioned, but Major General Pat Ryder said, look, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. Don't worry. Now, Hezbollah has launched some more missiles this morning and a drone attack, and which Israel's claimed to have largely blunted using their Iron Dome system. And of course, Israel did that tremendous preemptive attack where they they destroyed 6,000 rocket launchers in southern Lebanon. So this situation we're coming to a head. We are at that moment in the Middle East. Meanwhile, we're at that moment in Europe, as Russia has even been bombing now Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. President Zelensky, Vladimir Zelensky, is now asking the United States, give us the missiles, give us the permission to fire long-range missiles 200 to 400 miles into Russia to hit targets there to stop any more future invasions. Give us the permission to do it. Give us the rockets. Tell us we can go for this. We have to stop the Russians. That is Zelensky's position. Putin's position is we're not going anywhere. The bear has bit 3 ribs, and here's the first of 3 ribs, Ukraine, and we're not letting go. Daniel chapter 7 and 8, and throughout the Daniel, you know that this bear bites 3 ribs in its mouth and devours much flesh. Russia is going nowhere. Meanwhile, while all this is being played out in these 2 different locations, China is salivating to go after Taiwan. And all of this axis of evil, and of course you got the little dictator, little rocket man down there who thinks he's God, playing with the nukes and threatening South Korea and Japan. So we're in a very danger's not even the right word. We're at a critical juncture. We're at an exact moment. And we're coming up on the fall feast, and you might not think that means anything as it relates to all the things I'm talking about, but it does. The fall feast period may be what Iran is waiting on. Iran might be waiting to attack Israel. We thought they were going to attack Israel possibly a few weeks ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago. But now the question is, are they waiting for the Feast of Trumpets? Are they waiting for the Day of Atonement? Are they waiting for the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles? That's the day that October 7th happened last year when Hamas made their move. It wouldn't be on October 7th. I think it'd be October 24th. Because, the Hebraic calendar is not the same as the regular or the Gregorian calendar. So this year, the last day of Tabernacles is actually October 24th. So is Iran waiting out the Americans who have all this firepower there? Are they trying to wait us out for us to get nervous and to start pulling back our ships and our subs and thinning it down? Are they waiting for that moment? Is that what they're doing? Because right now, I think if they tried to do some massive launch, they would really be messed up because we're just way too much power there right now. So the deterrent by the United States is working. But are we just going to sit there forever? No. Just like, are we going to keep funding this war in Ukraine forever? No. And well, it depends. If Harris wins, she said they're going to keep fighting, going to keep funding it, and going to spend a ton of money doing it. If Trump wins, he said he'll end it. He'll end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. He'll end it. And he'll also put an end to the threats by Iran on Israel. So, guys, this is the most critical moment. I mean, we are in this unbelievable period of time of complete danger. I believe we're in Psalms 83, that's what we're witnessing right now, and that we're on the brink of Ezekiel 38. We really are. Which could then lead us into the sixth trumpet war in Revelation chapter 9, when Apollyon comes out of the bottomless pit and manipulates the kings of the world and brings the most evil hordes of hell on society. And the hearts of men will turn black with evil, and he causes World War III. Apollyon, the spirit of the Antichrist, this demon from the pits of hell that God showed me in a vision in July of 2021, when in red letters, Revelation 9:11 was suspended in front of me in an open vision, and God said, the hour is upon mankind. It is upon mankind. Warn the people. It's about to happen. You have to understand, when I'm having this vision, Russia has not invaded Ukraine yet. That doesn't happen for 6 more months. And Israel's not attacked on October 7th. That don't happen for 2 more years. But God gives me this vision and warns me that Apollyon is about to be released from the pits of hell. And when he is, read the Bible, what it says will happen when he's turned loose. And then you've got Brandon Biggs with his vision that he had 2 years ago. I had my vision 3 years ago. He had his 2 years ago, where God said, Apollyon, he saw him, and he heard the words, the great Apollyon, the great Apollyon. And Brandon admitted he didn't really understand all that Bible prophecy as it relates to Apollyon. He just saw the demon, what it looked like, and what the voice was saying it was. And then he's seen Apollyon enter into the Russian area, even affecting heavily on Vladimir Putin. I'm just going to tell you that Apollyon will affect many world leaders, many. And he'll also release 4 more demons that are under the river Euphrates. He will release Mystery Babylon, believe me. And the Euphrates River runs from Turkey through Iraq and Syria and Iran and dumps into the Persian Gulf. You have to understand that that river, Euphrates, used to have Babylon setting on it. And those demonic demons of that territorial region are about to be released. I guess you say, so what do we do, Pastor? Well, you need to get right with God. You have to get saved. Look, if you're not born again, you are not leaving here with the rapture. Forget about it. You're not going. If you're going to sit back and wait and watch and see if the Bible's true or not, you will be left behind. You'll be here when the tribulation of unbelievable biblical ramifications. Jesus said it will be a time like never before nor ever will be. And so my job as a watchman is not to be some little puppet, some little baby preacher with little fairy tale messages making you feel good. I'm not Dr. Phil. Good. I'm a prophet of God. I'm a preacher of the gospel. I'm a man of the Lord. I'm sitting on a wall and I see Apollyon about to rise. That is why God showed it to me. That's why he said, now write it, reveal it, warn them. And it's not because I want to make anybody nervous or make people afraid or make people scared. Because if you're living today and you're clueless, and if you're just, dancing in the streets, holding hands and singing Kumbaya, or if you're an unbeliever that there is no God, if you become, you don't even believe there's a God, if you don't believe the Bible's really true, if you've got your head buried in the sand and you don't even care what's going on in the Middle East or in Europe, or you don't even know the names of the countries, or, you don't want Begley to cramp my style. I don't want to, Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata ain't no passing phrase. Ain't got no worries for the rest of my days. I mean, it's your problem-free philosophy. I mean, Hakuna Matata. I mean, I think that's what's happening right now. People are
Apollyon is about to rise. Nobody wants to hear that. I mean, nobody wants to hear that.
Serious. Can I just get a song while we think this over for a minute? It's gonna be a powerful show tonight. It starts at 9:00. Mike from around the world is gonna be with us. Are you serious? Are you serious? I am very serious. I just want you to get saved and live in the joy of the Lord and not be clueless of what's going on.
Saturday was silent, and surely it was through. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? And Friday's disappointment is Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? This is the sound of a dry bones rattling. This is the praise make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Pentecostal fire, stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon. Your resurrection power, it runs in my veins too. I believe there's another miracle here in this room. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. This is the praise make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
Time for a shofar.
My God is able to save and deliver and heal and restore anything that he wants to. Just ask the man who was thrown on the bones of Elisha if there's anything that he can do. Just ask the stone that was rolled at the tomb in the garden. What happens when God says to move? I feel him moving it now. I feel him doing it now. I feel him doing it now. Do it now. Do it now. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Yeah, this is the praise making dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again.
Oh, that's right.
In the grave, I'm coming out.
I love you guys too. The King is coming.
In the grave, I'm coming out.
I'm telling you,
Gonna live.
the blessed hope is coming.
This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
This is the sound of the dry bones. You can hear them as they're beginning, as the great shaking and the bones coming together, one after another. God doing a miracle. These bones are the whole house of Israel. Prophesy and say to them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up from your graves and bring you into the land of Israel.
That's right.
Then you shall know that I am the Lord, and I will put my spirit in you, and I will place you in your own land, and you shall live. I will place you in your own land. You shall live, 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 live. He's coming back after a glorious church. He's coming after those that are ready. Are you ready to meet Jesus Christ? Dry bones live. Are you serious? The King is coming. The King is coming. The King is coming. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, Alpha and Omega, the beginning, the end, the first and the last. He that was dead, but he's alive, and that forevermore. That's the first time I've actually ever blew this shofar. I'm trying to remember. This was given to me. Matter of fact, every shofar I got was given to me. And I'm, this is still, I didn't even take all the tags off this one. I'm so sorry. First time I ever, these things are hard to do. And usually you want to practice and try to figure out, because they're all different. Every shofar is different. And I got the big long one in there that Karen gave me, that Yehuda Glick actually stood on the Temple Mount on the Day of Atonement. It's a big long one. It's beautifully painted. And he blew the shofar from the Temple Mount, Rabbi Yehuda Glick, and that was auctioned off. She ended up buying it and giving it to me as a gift, and it's right there. I think I'll play that. I think I'll blow that one tonight. I'm breaking out the shofars tonight. But anyway, I tried to do that, but and I'll get the tags off of them. Guys, I'm gonna let you go. There's a whole lot going on. I mean, I could go forever, but we got a big show tonight. I got to. Of course, I'm in the middle of doing prepping and praying and preparing, and I'm also Sunday. I'll be preaching under the big tent here at Freedom Fellowship, and I've been, I'm seeking the face of God for the message, and my spirit is turning, but I'm waiting on the words on what to say. So it's a very interesting time. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Give your life to Jesus Christ. He is coming.